Hey peeps, if you have not heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. First and foremost, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer, your laptop, or your pad. Anchor will then distribute these podcasts, no fee, everywhere. Spotify, Google, Apple Podcast, anywhere. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free app today, Anchor, Anchor, or go to Anchor, Anchor.fm to get started. You will have fun. Good day. Welcome to Rocking the Gray Matter with Doc Grigsby. That's me. This is where we will view the world through the lens of life and interaction, hopefully applying some common sense, empathy, and intelligent reasoning. The world is a crazy place. Let's explore it together. Good day to you. I hope everyone is healthy and happy. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It is November the 19th, 2020. Welcome to Rocking the Gray Matter with Doc Grigsby. That would be me. Today we're going to do something a little different, and my podcast is primarily geared toward educators. K through 12, specifically higher education, but all of us educators at this particular point in time. We are nearing the end of our fall 2020 semester, and we have many things to ponder. We were thrown into the virtual environment back in March, quite unexpectedly. Those results were pretty horrible, pretty bad. We had the summer to kind of gather our thoughts and go through a lot of training and search out digital options. And here we are in the fall of 2020 at it again. Some of those challenges still exist, and we're even finding new challenges. With us going into the spring of 2021, many of us, including my institution, is going to continue in an online/virtual format. So now we have to retrospectively look at what we've done, what's worked, what has not. But the bottom line is we have to come together for one motive, and that is the student's benefit. It's a tightrope between faculty. We have to keep the students motivated, but not let our own morale fail either. And sometimes that's a major concern. No matter what your format, but particularly with this COVID fatigue and Zoom new normal that we're all facing. So I want to go over some principles that comes from an article by P.R. Pintrick. It's written in 2003, a motivational science perspective on the role of student motivation in learning and teaching context. Well, that's just a mouthful of words now, isn't it? Marilyn Weimer in 2018 published her own paper that kind of summarized those perspectives in a much easier format called 5 Keys to Motivating Students. The first concept that I want us all to take a look at is a thing called the boomerang principle. And just like you think, the boomerang principle, this structure that you throw out and it comes back to you, that's where we get that theory. Basically, what you give, you get in return. Very similar to Newton's scientific law that says with every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. But the point to be made is that the more effort that is spent to motivate students, to keep students engaged, then there's a better chance for them to actually be successful. And hopefully to reciprocate that engagement back to us, therefore completing the circle of I give to you and you give to me. There has to be three things in place for this boomerang principle to take effect, and that is mutual trust, mutual admiration, purely professional and academic here, folks, and a mutual motivation. Without those three things in place, the students won't feel obligated nor interested to engage. So, the first construct that I would like to speak to is adaptive self-efficacy and competence perceptions motivate students. Again, adaptive self-efficacy and competence perceptions motivate students. That's a big old mouthful of words again. So Weimer translates this to, if students believe that they can do it, then they're motivated to try. Well, that makes sense. If they look at a task and say, there's no way I can do this, they're not going to even try. They're not going to even attempt it. So the implications for those of us in the classroom, i.e. Zoom, has to deal with feedback. And I am at fault for this when I get in my little zone and I just start kind of check marking the things that need to be done better. Those things that need to be accomplished more successfully. Check, 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 check. But instead, we need to understand and recognize the amount of effort that that student put forth. Where no matter how small, no matter how large, that small amount of effort. So the first thing out of our feedback should be, that was a great first try. That was a great effort. Now let's talk about the things that we can do better. So even that small amount of feedback, that small amount of motivation that we give out to them, students, allows them to have self-efficacy, a feeling of self-worth, if you will, that's going to motivate them. Now, a second implication for this construct is that teachers need to assess the difficulty of the task. The task, the assignment, the project, whatever, needs to be challenging, but it needs to be something that can be accomplished. There are so many times that we give pages and pages of homework, hundreds of pages of the textbook to read, pages of homework, summaries, practice questions, practice problems, busy work, massive amounts. Then we give these publisher created exams that may or may not cover the material that you did in the lecture. This is irresponsible. A, it's too much. B, it's not relative. And 3, it's just trying to make your life easier. Give them tasks that they can do, but challenges them to think critically, to think outside of the box, without having to spend hours a night in a textbook that they're not going to do. The second construct states adaptive attributions and control beliefs motivate students. Again, Weimer translates this to, if the student doesn't think effort makes a difference, they won't expend any. There you go. If they think we're not paying attention, if they think that whatever they do is not going to make a difference, they're not going to do anything. How does this affect us in the classroom? We need to talk about how learning works and how it relates and the importance of the learning process of a specific task, how that relates to them in the real world. Because that's, they don't care. They're sitting in classes that they care less about, doing things that's not part of their major, and their question in the back of their mind is, why am I doing this? When am I ever going to use this? Well, you might be surprised. Another thing is to give students control. Give students some control over how they study and the tasks that they do. If they have some control, a choice in the matter, it makes students feel part of the class, vested into their own learning. When we give them choices, that increases the chance for them to learn. Students want their voices heard. They just want to be listened to. No matter how silly we may think it is, no matter how trivial we may think it is, it's extremely important to them. And with this pandemic, this forced virtual learning, they need to be heard. The third construct simply states higher levels of interest and intrinsic motivation motivate students. Again, translation. Research makes a distinction between personal and situational interest. So a personal interest, it's what they feel for the content. So the personal interest. I hate math. A lot of students do. Okay, I hate math. I do horribly in math. I'm not good at math. I'm not going to be successful in math. Well, there you go. I hate history. It's boring. I don't like to read. I don't care. Well, there you go. Personal interest. If they're not interested in the topic, they find it very, very difficult to relate its importance to their success, therefore decreasing their motivation to try. Situational interest, on the other hand, refers to those positive feelings that are generated by the person on the other end of that screen. If we as instructors, teachers, professors show the passion, show the relativity, show the excitement, enhance that motivation, if we come across that screen as a crazy person that really loves what they love to do, that is almost infectious. They pay attention, they listen, they actually become interested. Personal and situational interest. The fourth construct, higher levels of value motivate students. Translation. Just what we talked about. Do the students see the relevance in what they're doing? Now, look, calculus is calculus and statistics is statistics, and sometimes it is what it is. However, trying to find the relevance to some of these gen ed classes that students have to take in undergrad sometimes can be difficult. It can be challenging. But we talk about all the time the well-rounded student. If you are a very narrowly focused student with, say, just an interest in business, say you're a business major, and all you took were just your business classes, which, by the way, you would have to take math, economics, all that stuff, right? No gen eds, no English, no writing classes, no reading classes, no history classes, no psychology class, just business. and you are in a room with your fellow business peeps, and all you can talk about is business and the economy. You can't talk about politics or world affairs. You can't talk about social injustice. What a boring lot you guys are going to be. We want you to be well-rounded to where you can think out of the box and apply business principles to many different aspects of your life. Lastly, but certainly not leastly, our goals motivate and direct students. Translation: students aren't motivated solely by academic goals. They want to be recognized for mastery. Look, every one of us wants a sticker. Every one of us wants that trophy. I don't care who you are. Granted, we give those out far too much, but still. We want to be recognized for our efforts. If we do well, if we progress, if we move in a forward fashion, we want the trophy. We want the sticker. We want the promotion. We want the pay raise. We want the better grade. There's not a soul on this earth that doesn't believe that. And students are the same. So why does that matter to us? Well, if we can get them to work toward that goal, if we can get them to accomplish goals and be successful in their assignments and their tasks, even just a little bit, even if it's just better than the week before, and we can show them that progress, if they can believe in their progress, then they get a sticker. They see that goal and see the fact that they have moved closer to or even attained that goal. That sticker is gold. For teachers, we need to use cooperative and collaborative group work. We need to allow them to work not only on tasks, but both in social and academic goals. Again, a more well-rounded student. So in this COVID pandemic Zoom world that we educators live in now and will for a while, we have to add yet another skill set to our tool belt, and that is motivator. We have to facilitate the right mix of tasks and assignments. We have to be flexible with our grades. We have to utilize online technologies and collaborative technologies. We have to put forth positive energy that radiates across the screen. Just another thing for us to add to our tool belt. But what is going to keep that ball rolling? The boomerang principle. What you give out, you get back. What I give you, you reciprocate to me. Now, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We're hoping for the best. We've all had those classes, particularly in Zoom, where you're looking at a blank screen with no faces because all the cameras are off. Nobody's talking to you in chat, and it's like you just entered the zombie apocalypse. And those days are exhausting. But we have to do better. We can't give up. We cannot give up, because what we give out, we get back. And we need to be motivated as well in this new normal. Peeps, you know me, it's just my thoughts, just the way I look at stuff. I always welcome your comments. I wish you all to have a safe and healthy holiday if I don't speak to you before then. I wish peace and happiness for everyone. And until next time, peace.